I have been wanting to film this video for the longest time. It is currently a Saturday, the 17th of February. I was here in January, this exact spot, of course, on my bed, which is not an unusual place to be, but I was here just last month filming a video about my current work in progress. For non-readers, my work in progress is the current story that I'm working on, and I filmed a video last month, but it was just all over the place, and I told myself I was gonna refilm it. And I am currently working on a new chapter for my work in progress, Bruised, in case you haven't heard of it. And for my Wattpad readers, you guys know what it is. It's a Saturday, and Saturday is my writing day, and I'm currently trying to work through a new chapter. I went to a few places earlier and I'm like just getting into the writing zone, but yeah, I just want to get through that before I actually get to filming this. My hair is a complete mess. I literally just put my hair mask and I am just, everything is just like yeah, I'm just gonna go finish writing this chapter and then we can get, you know, into all the details of Bruised. We are back and I am here to discuss all things Bruised. Just in case you guys need like an understanding of what we're getting into, if you follow me on Wattpad or you read any of my books on Wattpad, then you know what this is about. But just in case you guys haven't watched this video, make sure you do, because that is book 1 in the Broken series. Bruised is book 2, is the sequel to Broken, and it picks back up from where I left off in Broken. What's amazing is that I actually finished writing Broken June of 2023, and I got right into writing Bruised the following month, July 2023, and I just barely had like 2 to 3 weeks to like go without writing or like thinking about plot lines and all of these things. I just jumped right into it and it just felt like easy for me to pick back up from where I left off. You get to see a lot of character growth without giving too much away, because I really just want you guys to go read it if you're a reader. There is a significant character growth happening in Bruised, not just for the 2 main characters, but also for other characters around these main characters. While I was working on Broken, there was a lot of limitations that I put on myself and the book itself. I told myself I had to get the plot line in just like 50 chapters, and each chapter had like a little over 2,000 words. And I realized because of that limitation I set on the story, I wasn't able to finish, you know, put a lot of the plots that I planned for that book into Broken. So where Broken currently ends was not the planned ending. I had another ending which was forward in the plot line. And when I reached my limit of 50 chapters, I just told myself I had to move the rest of the plot to Bruised. So the first part of Bruised is kind of the plot line that I wasn't able to add to Broken. Bruised has a lot of plot line, like a lot of details I need to touch on. And when I was getting into this, when I started writing it, I told myself that I will not put those limitations that I put on Broken on Bruised. So I told myself, throughout the idea that you have to write 50 chapters, throughout the idea that it has to be 100,000 words, all of these limitations that I set for my story, I don't know where they're from. It's like an expanse of possibilities, and it's just like I get to like, you know, just like roam this endless field of ideas. And now that without all of those limitations, this has been easy for me to like dive into, you know, writing the storyline how I want it to go. And what's amazing, I keep saying what is amazing, there's so many things amazing about this. I am super excited to like be writing it, and all the things that's in store for you guys, it's in store for me too, because I did tell you guys I just have an idea of where I'm taking the storyline. I don't exactly know what happens in each scene until I'm actually writing it, And it's like the deeper I get into the storyline, the more excited I am to like know what's in store for all of these characters in the story that I've gotten attached to, and I think you guys probably have gotten attached to as well. I was just thinking a few days ago while I was writing, I think last week Saturday while I was writing, it's just been on my mind for a while. The thing about writing a book series is that you have to keep all of your characters, you know, what makes them unique in the story. You have to keep that with you, their traits, what makes them them. It's kind of like how human beings are unique in their own way. These characters are similar, but what's amazing is that I'm very forgetful. Like I will forget the tiniest detail, and I have like a couple of notes where I put like important things I have to remember while I'm writing before I get into my writing zone. And I'd go back there, and sometimes something would just come up and I'll be like, there's something I'm forgetting, and then once I go check it in my notes, I'll be like, ah, it's this thing. It's like those tiny details, and it just made me super, like, I was just completely in awe of God, because writing something, a story with limited characters, and it's not even like I am touching on all of those characters, you know, like separately. We have the main characters and we have like the supporting characters and all of these things. And it just makes me super like amazed at, you know, God. Like he created all of us and he knows what is going on in our lives. He knows us to like the tiniest detail, the things that I would see as like, it's not that important, like how I like my coffee, or I don't drink a lot of coffee, but I'm just like saying. And it's like he just knows what makes each of us unique, and he has an entire, like, you know, an entire life planned out for each of us. And it just makes me, the more I write, the more, you know, amazed I am by him. Yeah, so as for, it's so bad that I forget stuff that I actually wrote down the things I have to touch on in this video. It's super funny. So I did talk about the limitations. And then the deadlines. Oh my goodness, I have deadlines set in place. I kind of stopped writing for like a couple of months. Sometime around September till December I wasn't writing, but when this year came around, I told myself I have to write every Saturday. Sunday, if you guys follow me on my channel, that you know Sunday is my switch off day. That is, I just literally just turn off, you know, not devices, I wouldn't say all my devices, but I try to avoid, you know, going on social media, and just, it's a day for me to just like turn off from the world and just tune into like God and his gospel. I set aside Saturdays to work on my story. So Sunday I don't do anything. Monday to Friday I'm working, and when I get home it's pretty late, so I do not have time. And if I do have time, I'm mostly like creating content or like editing content. But yeah, Saturday is the only time that I have to write. And I kind of told myself, if I wrote one chapter every Saturday from January to December, I will be done. I don't want to overwhelm myself with writing where I just get, you know, kind of like burnt out from writing. I also like want to step away from my screen and just reduce my screen time in general, because I am on my screen from Monday to Friday like for like 9 hours. And so screen time is something I'm trying to reduce. So I tell myself 1,000 words is okay, even though I would probably finish like June, July 2024. Sorry, we're in 2024. Yeah, so June, July 2025. That is kind of a bit scary, knowing that I will finish writing like a year and a half from now. Broken, it took me a year and a half to write, so hopefully I will complete Bruised sometime between the end of this year and next year, June, July. That is the deadline I've set for myself, so I have to write half a chapter every Saturday. And if I can, you know, do it, then a complete chapter, 2,000 words straight, just sprint and just write the entire chapter. But also the idea of telling myself you have to complete a chapter a week I don't want to overwhelm myself with that, you know, that goal. Half a chapter is more realistic for me. As for the update schedule, I kind of like put out a document which you guys can access on my Wattpad. So once you start reading Bruised, it's on the first chapter. You can just check out the link and just see my update schedule for all the chapters I have written. So far, I think I kind of explained the whole process of me updating on Wattpad. But yeah, I'm gonna be updating every Saturday. I'm pretty excited for all of these things. And now that I have no limitations set for Bruised, I'm super eager to see where it ends up, even though I have an idea of the entire plot. But at the same time, it's like once I have to like touch and note those things in particular, it's the scenes come to me, and that's when I get to like immerse myself in their world and experience, you know, all the things they're experiencing. And something I should probably say is that so because of the character growth that's gonna happen in this story, it kind of feels like there are some scenes that feel like fluff, but they're not scenes that are just there because they're there. Those scenes are there because I need to add more depth to the story. I just want to make the story, you know, as real as possible. I don't want it as real as possible, but to be realistic in the sense that character growth doesn't just happen, you know, overnight. I don't want to rush the story, but at the same time I don't want to slow it down with, you know, unnecessary scenes, just like fluff. But there are scenes that I have to write to just make it more realistic with the growth that I get to experience. So it's like when you look at like this chapter and then you go to like chapter A and then chapter X, it's like you get to see the difference between, you know, the same character in those two different timelines. And there are particular scenes that I've added to just make that growth more realistic. And it could just be like the character just hanging out with other characters and getting to like make conversation. That's how it is in real life. You just have to hang out with people to be able to, you know, get to know them and then get closer to them. Every conversation is like one more step to, you know, building your relationship with a person. And that's what I'm doing for Bruised. Even though the conversation just feels, you know, like a basic conversation, it is still a conversation, and each of the characters are getting to know each other. So I put those certain scenes in there just to make the growth and then the build up in their relationships and friendships just seem more realistic. So yeah, that is just something I needed to talk on. There is still so much plot line to cover, and I am currently working on chapter 14, which for you guys on Wattpad, if you're reading on Wattpad, chapter 14 would be chapter 28. It is so exciting getting to like dive deeper into these characters, and this is the starting of my third year with these characters, and I've just gotten to know them like so much more. The funny thing that I tell myself is that I created these characters, and somehow, sometime, some way, they ended up influencing me. I don't know if you guys watch my book talks on Instagram, but yeah, I have been becoming somewhat of a McKenna lately. And not just in my sense of like how I dress, but sometimes even how I talk and how I act. Just somehow, you know, envision what she would do, and I'm like, she is badass, I need to be badass. And then somehow I just gain a confidence from absolutely nowhere, and I just walk the walk and talk the talk, aside cussing. By the way, we're still working on that. There were so many times I went back in Broken to like change the curse words for like something cleaner. The F word, then it's fudge, and if it's the S word, is like shoot. And I was like, maybe I should just leave it, and then somehow end up like, you know, just like let her develop in her character, and then it will slowly, you know, fade out, because that's how it happened with me, to be honest. I used to cuss a lot. I just went through this phase, and getting cuss words out of my vocabulary was something I was constantly working on. And there were times I would make mistakes and like stumble. I just didn't want that to be, you know, I didn't want to make it clean, because life can be messy and cuss words are part of those things that make it messy. So I just told myself, just keep it in the story. It would be one of those things that makes her, you know, different by the end of the story. And starting off, it was constantly in her, you know, vocabulary. And currently, while I'm writing Bruised, it's not been a lot. There are a few times when she uses it. I just don't feel like it's time for her to get to a space where she makes like a mental note to be cautious of how she says it or when she says it, and to just be intentional about stopping it. She's not there yet, but she's getting there, and I don't want to make it feel rushed. Also, I keep looking there. It's because my laptop is there and I just actually came back from writing, so I apologize. It just feels like anytime I look at my laptop, like they're there. Okay, that is pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. I thought this would be longer, but it's not. It feels not too long. If you guys haven't watched the trailer for Broken, you definitely should. It's up on my Instagram. Be sure you check it out. Creating a trailer for my books was something I started doing like 2 years ago. Bruised is the 4th trailer I'll be creating for my stories, and it's something I actually enjoy doing because I just love creating content. Whatever content that is, I just love creating content. A lot of my Wattpad readers have checked it out and they kind of loved it. If that's something that sounds like you'd like to watch, check it out. I did a lot of like, you know, voiceover and all of these like background music. It was pretty interesting to create. That's it for this video. I can't believe I finally filmed it. Make sure you stick around for more, you know, book related stuff. If you aren't following me on Gram, you definitely should, because I've been posting a lot of book talks lately. It might actually reveal, you know, plot lines down the line. There might be a few spoilers in my book talk, but not spoilers, just like a hint about what's to come. I am being intentional about creating more content for all my book lovers out there. And if you haven't checked out my stories on Wattpad, you can check it out if it's something that feels like it's going to be interesting to you. If you follow my content on here, then I'll see you in the next video. Till next time, till next vlog, stay blessed. They are there because I just need to add more depth to the story. Add more depth to the story. Oh my gosh, I literally cannot speak anymore. What the heck?